Alright. And you know, even too with the new music video and everything, like how much work did you guys have to put into creating such an outcome? And I mean, as much as Eric had filmed it, like how many days, weeks did it take to film and finally get everything?
Well, that was a span over like, it was November to like April, because basically in November we shot like
was it the masquerade?
The masquerade
Yes.
scene, and then like I can't remember, it was like February or something that they actually like filmed the storyline.
Yeah, the actual plague haunting storyline.
And then in April was our playthrough of it, and basically it just happened over that. We were supposed to play a long time ago, but like scheduling and time just wasn't coming around for us. So.
All right, and now let's take it back. I mean, to the basics here. Like when you guys first started out, what was one of the most shows that you can remember being one of your most favorites?
Devoid of
Light.
Light.
The fucking debut show, hands down.
Yeah, me and Eric are the promoters for that, and we promoted the absolute Christ out of that show. And like just seriously, like putting posters up, like car flyers, like we didn't fuck around when it came to that. So, and
videos of that too.
Yeah, exactly, and it's online. You can see one of our performances online, but like 100 people came to a Black and Doom black metal show. That fucking never happens. So with that being in mind, when we played, it's just like all those people were there from our hard work, and just it was the most memorable show we've played. I mean, we have really awesome shows, but like that's just like your first like fucking show, and you're expecting maybe 5 people to show up, and like 100 some people show up, and it's just like wow.
For a first show, fucking having that good of a reception was insane. Like back when I was still playing drums and the vocals in Chaotic Maelstrom, fucking having that double set, having to play the same night, I was fucking nervous as hell. But that's the thing, right? It was all self-funded, right? It was the whole like you said, promoted the piss out of it, and having that fucking 100 people show up to like your show and like one of the first big shows I've played, and just going back to that day is pretty sick, seeing how far we've grown. But like we've all said, that's probably the favorite show, the fucking debut show, and that's when everything just started boiling up right to this point, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for people not hearing us like beforehand, seeing everyone into it was just the absolute greatest feeling.
Yeah.
It was.
Nobody knew who the hell you were, and like everybody was like at least nodding their heads to something, and that's just the most unreal feeling you can really get. Really, it's when. Yeah.
So now with Devoid of Light pretty much being around 2 this year, what are your hopes for this show as in comparison to last?
Well, I hope we get like sort of the same. I mean, Regina's kind of different. Sometimes there'll be a show where there's 3 people and you're expecting like 100 people, and then they're expecting 3 people and you're getting 100 people. Like it's kind of unpredictable. But I mean, for Devoid of Light, it's going to be interesting for the other places that we're playing, like Saskatoon and Winnipeg. But for Regina specifically, I'm hoping to have this like same
or
even more crowd than we had previously.
Yeah.
For Saskatoon, I just hope one person shows up. And same with Winnipeg too. So it's gonna be interesting for this year. So, and bringing back Wilt. Wilt is my favorite Manitoba band.
Oh, hands down.
Next to like Psychotic Gardening, I really like those guys.
Vathic,
yeah.
You gotta throw EM in there too.
Oh, of course.
Yep. Numenorian is coming for the first time, and they are fucking amazing.
Crushing. It's absolutely crushing.
The most beautiful guitar work I've ever heard. Hands down, like Byron is a fucking genius, and just this show alone is gonna be the most fucking depressing.
Group of people in one room.
I don't exaggerate on it. Like there's gonna be so like, it's gonna be fucking unreal how it's gonna be.
So be there.
Exactly. Yeah, no, all fucking bands on that bill, like, all have their own separate emotional backlining with all the music that they write. And like he said, it's gonna be fucking the most crushing night, and mixed together with the saddest fucking show you've ever been to. And
Yeah.
but in a good way, right? Fucking, we're hoping for a big turnout, and it's gonna be, you gotta be there. Like, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be the most interesting show.
Oh, of course.
All right, and just so people who haven't heard you yet, and with all these festivals coming up, can we give them a taste of what your music is about, like main stories, like if there's a story behind it, or if it's a kind of like an emotional journey of a protagonist or antagonist, or
I don't really know the stories of our music. That's more Damien's thing, because he's the lyric writer. He writes his own stories, but musically there's a difference between his lyrics and then there's the music. When we first were writing, it was about having that feeling, but also it was just like what sounded cool kind of thing.
yeah.
With the recent upcoming split of Ash and Dying Light, I focused way more on the emotional state and created some of the most deepest, hardest stuff I could write.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts to play them live mentally.
Mentally, of course.
Um,
Well, like you're saying, right? The way that this band, for sure, like with the Shameful Burden and also the split coming up, is that, like he was saying, there's two different aspects to the music written, right? There's the emotional in the lyrics written by Damien, also having, ideas thrown in from members of the band, and there's also like the music aspect of the band, having both of those emotional entities clashing, like on stage, as it just hits both the band members and people at the show, and it's these two things clashing together to then writing like a record or a split, which is also coming up, and it's just, yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, is there anything else you guys want to touch on here quick before we come to a close, or?
Buy our upcoming split with Knock Terror. It's going to be, we're releasing it with Hypnotic Dirge Records. Come to our shows, have a good time, come to get depressed with us.
Support local metal. Like,
Absolutely.
That's what it all comes down to. Go to local shows, fucking support the bands from your own city or around. Like, it's some of the best music you'll find out there. All these big bands around, but sometimes, if you dig in the dirt a little bit, you find all these fucking amazing local bands that you've never known about. So that's all I gotta throw in. Support your scene. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
All right, and before we come to a close here, I'm gonna do what I call a speed round here. I'm gonna ask a question, and I'm gonna get each one of you to give me your top 5 answers for these questions. I've got 3 questions I can think of off the top of my head, and first one is gonna be top 5 most influential bands or albums for you as a person towards the band.
Probably start with Evan for how he wrote the record.
Woods of Ypres for sure. Without Woods of Ypres, there would be no fucking alternative life, I can guarantee you that.
Worship the piss out of that band, of course.
My Dying Bride, with more funeral kind of stuff, like more Stomach Earth, fuck. My Dying Bride, Woods of Ypres, Stomach Earth, I don't know, this it's hard to.
It's hard to think.
It's hard to tell because with this band, there's so many different influences in this band. Like we got 3 like tech death heads, and then you got a hardcore kid, and then you got fucking 2 black metal veterans, and like, but mainly, like generally for this band, it's like Woods of Ypres, My Dying Bride, Stomach Earth, fuck.
Speedy answers you got there, bud.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can only pick 3, I
I
mean.
know I fucking think of 3 right now.
Alright.
Dylan?
All right. Well, like Evan said, me being a tech death guy, most of what I can think of when I write bass lines is be like Alex Vasquez from Abiotic. You know, he does a lot of tapping, and I brought a
Yeah, you fucking.
few licks from that into
You.
into Ultra's music. Intervals, progressive, musical, gent or whatever you want to call it. You know, a lot of listen to that guy's bass lines a lot, and I can't remember his name, but yeah, I throw that in there. And you know, actually, I take a lot of influence from local man Troy Blake. Watching him through Into Eternity, Digital Doomsday, and Planet Eater, like I've really studied his technique and what he does in his music. I've really adapted that into my playing style as well. And also Sean Beasley from Dying Fetus, another one of my favorite bass players. The way he moves musically, even though he does use a pick, you know. But that's neither here nor there. Alex Webster from Cannibal Corpse as well, another one of my top idols. And, you know, I'm going to say Les Claypool from Primus.
Fuck yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's 5.
5 or
Give or
10.
take.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's me, so.
Well, for me, I mean, most of the bands that I wasn't really familiar with before I joined this band, the guys in the band like Evan, glorifying, you know, My Dying Bride, and I did listen to Woods of Ypres a lot, but then joining this band for sure has expanded my library, I guess, so to speak, with music, and I don't know, like, most of them are fairly common, you know, like he was saying, coming from this black metal band, right, having the slow, kind of crushing influences from like DSBM music and stuff like that, like Zaster and bands around that, you know, Shining and stuff. But then, you know, of course, the Woods of Ypres, My Dying Bride, Draconian, and more recently trying to work on technique, I guess, so to speak, working around the slower tempos is, you know, stoner doom drummers and stuff like that, like Chris Hakis from Sleep and, you know, Melvins and just things like that. Bands that really utilize the oversized cymbals for fucking slow as fuck music, but I mean, not really specific influences, just in general, like I tend to just pick from every genre I can, because I mean, to me it's all music, but of course being subdivided, but you know, anything I can, I just take from it and kind of forge my own writing, I guess, so to speak. But having Evan not writing most of the drums, but having already a demo layout of the drums, you know, an idea picking from it, and then adding my own personal flair and stuff like that. But no, not really any specific bands, just as a generalized form. So.